Welcome to this week's pricing. As usual, we've got Great British Pounds and we have got Euros. Now, I don't usually have the American or Australian dollar prices. That is just because I don't have a source for it. Sometimes if I catch a leak a little bit later on in the week, I will upload that video, but I don't have a regular source for it, so that's why I don't do it. But if that changes going forward, I will certainly let you know. So I've got quite a busy week this week. There's 15 new releases, and they are all to do with Necromunda, Adeptus Sororitas for the 40k, Warhammer Underworlds, and 2 Black Library releases. I didn't do an Age of Sigmar Dominion reaction or anything like that over the weekend. I'm working on something a little bit more informed for release later on this week. If you wait till the end of this video, I will have a little bit to say on it there. But let's not waste any more time, let's get on with the pricing. So starting with Warhammer Underworlds, we have Elathane's Soul Raid. That is the new Idoneth Deepkin warband. That's £25 or €32.50. Next up, we've got a few Necromunda releases. So we have got the Kodor Gang Tactics cards. Those are £9.50 or €12. We've got the House of Faith dice set. That's £10 or €12. We've got the House of Faith book, £32.50 or €42.50. And we have the Kodor Redemptionists. Those are £26 or €34. So next up we move on to Adeptus Sororitas. Now the big thing on this is that we've got the new codex and some items and that kind of thing, but at the moment there is no combat patrol box. So the codex is £30 or €37.50. We've got the data cards at £15 or €20. We've got the dice at £20 or €25. Now she wasn't mentioned on last night's Warhammer community post, but the Palatine is going to be available for pre-order this week as well. So that's £21 or €25. Now the Sister Dogmata. There's no EU pricing on this yet, but it's £21. So that tells me that the Euro price is going to be 25. I don't know why they would leave that pricing out. It's either just an error on their price list or potentially maybe delayed for a week or two. Who knows? Next up we have the Paragon Warsuit. That's £42 or €55. We have the Adeptus Sororitas Celestian Sacrosancts. They're £34.50 or €42.50. And then finally we have the Morvenval Abbess Sanctum. That's £34.50 or she is €42.50. Now we've just got 2 releases for Black Library, and both of these are just paperback editions of books that have already been out. So we have got Blackstone Fortress Ascension and Brutal Cunning. Now they are £8.99 or €12.50. So on to Dominion. So the big announcement on Saturday was that this is how the next edition of Age of Sigmar is going to be kicked off. And obviously it's a great big massive box with loads and loads of models in it. And I like it. I think it looks pretty cool, but I do have some problems with it. So obviously we've got a lot of stuff in here. 21 Stormcast Eternals, and some of them big buggers as well. We've got 39 Cruel Boys Oryx. I'll give my thoughts on them in a minute, but the main thing really is that new launch edition core book. There's some other bits and bobs in there, getting started book, the War Scrolls for all of the stuff, but you know, just some general fluff to get us started with this new box. Now in terms of the actual contents of the box, in terms of the models, I think we do get a lot here and they all look great, absolutely fantastic. I'm not fully sold on the Cruel Boys just yet. They look too different from standard orcs for me to fit in nicely, but I'll give my full opinion on that later on this week. I'm still digesting some of this information, to be honest with you. I didn't want to just rush something out there just for something to say, but I'll give my thoughts on that later on this week. Obviously we have some interesting stuff going on with the Stormcast as well. Some definite Kharadron Overlord looks on some of that armour, some of the insignias on there and some of the helmets. I find it very interesting. I think that's going to lead us into a later power struggle within Age of Sigmar, which is quite exciting. But you know, That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'll give a full breakdown on my thoughts of everything to do with this box later on this week, as well as where I think this is pushing us in terms of what's going to happen in the next edition. There was a little bit of discussion as well on what's happening after this box comes out. So here's two models that are also coming out for Stormcast Eternals. I like them both. I think they're pretty cool. I particularly like the guy on the right with that massive bow. That looks really cool indeed. There's also two other models out for the Crawl Boys. Now the Troggoth on the left here really stole the show for me. It's probably my favourite thing that was brought out over the weekend. It looks so awesome. It really made me think of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, that Master Blaster. I think it's really, really cool. And then obviously we've got some much needed range once again for the Crawl Boys on the right there. That looks like it's going to be, you know, pretty meaty on the battlefield. But that's it. That's my overall thoughts on Dominion. I'll be really, really interested to hear your thoughts on it. So please comment down below. What do you think about the new Dominion box set? Are you going to get it? Does it look good to you? Are you excited about it? It obviously is a public holiday in the UK this weekend, so I've been doing a lot of family stuff and that kind of thing. So I haven't had a really good chance to absorb the community's feedback on this. So I've seen a few things, such as how much this guy looks like Trigger from Only Fools and Horses. I thought that was quite funny, but he is a absolutely fantastic model in himself anyway. I've seen some quite negative reaction to the new Aurochs, just in how much they are separated from the existing ones. They look nothing like them whatsoever. The first thing that my gaming group said when they saw it was like, oh my god, like, you know, have we got goblins coming in? So yeah, some really mixed feedback, to be honest with you. The set itself looks fantastic, and but even I said to my gaming group that I'm not really sure if I'm going to get it. The thing that separates this from Indomitus for me is that I really like the look of everything that was in Indomitus. The first time I saw it, I fell in love with it. But maybe that's just because it was the first time that we saw this style of massive box. The main thing I'm looking forward to is the rulebook. And is that a good reason for buying this box? Probably not. The other thing I'm kind of hesitant on is they did mention pricing, and they said that it was going to be in the ballpark of where Indomitus was. Now, in the ballpark of Indomitus tells me that it's going to be more expensive, so I'm expecting probably 150 RRP for this, something like that. Now, it feels like I'm being overly negative on this box. To be honest with you, I'm not. It's just that I don't have much interest in, particularly Oryx. I don't have an Orc army or anything like that I can tack this onto. And I'm not really looking forward to creating a new army or anything like that anyway. The Stormcast stuff itself looks great. I have got some Stormcast stuff because I do collect the Mortal Realms magazine. So I've got a army that I'm building out of that. Having said that, I play Slaves to Darkness in Age of Sigmar. And I'm not really sure if I want to expand the scope of my Stormcast army anymore from what it's going to be from Mortal Realms anyway. But what I'm going to do is I'll go away, I'll drill down every single thing that's in each of these little armies, and I'll go through them piece by piece. I'll put out my video next week and just give my overall thoughts on about it. Now, what usually happens when I do something like that is I come out of it absolutely loving the things that I've looked into. Looking into the intricacies and all the individual details of what we've got in these boxes, I'm sure that by the end of it I'll probably come out with a totally different frame of mind on it. For those of you who enjoyed Warhammer Fest, there's going to be kind of a similar coming up for their video games. So between the 3rd and 10th of June, there's going to be a lot of discussion on future video games in the Warhammer worlds. Now, there will be a live stream for this next Thursday, or at least in the UK it's on Thursday. It tips over to other times depending on where you are. This doesn't leap out at me as being anything spectacular, but then again, I don't play many Warhammer video games. I don't own a current gen console or anything like that. I have got a PC, and I was very appreciative of the recent White Dwarf magazine that had all of the games in there, that with the Steam download key. I've been really enjoying Talisman actually. I've been getting into that and playing a bit of that recently. But yeah, I am looking forward to this. It would be nice to see what's coming up in the future. And if there is anything on its way which I think looks particularly good, I will of course come back and share my thoughts here. Now I'm going to finish up by saying that a lot of my content, in fact the vast majority of my content that's been coming out recently, has been these kind of voiceover images and that kind of thing, sharing details and all that kind of stuff, which is not what I'm used to doing at all, really. I'm used to doing more reviews type things and all that kind of stuff. What I can tell you is that all of that stuff is coming back with a vengeance in the next few weeks. I've got a number of reviews which I've got coming up, which I'm really looking forward to. And I've got quite a few other preview things and all that kind of thing as well. So things are ramping up around here. Now the final thing to say is a massive thank you to everyone who's been using my Element Games affiliate link. It is down in the description. If you use it, you get your normal discounts, but I get a tiny kickback from Element Games. There's also a code in the description which, if you use it in your checkout, you'll get double Element reward crystals. So that little bit of currency that you build up over time by using Element Games, if you use that code, you'll get double that going forward. So that really is that for now. So thank you so much for watching as usual, guys. Much appreciated. Have a brilliant week, and I'll see you in the next couple of days. See ya.